Hello, everybody. I'm Costa Macris, the founder of etletstalk.com and the People's Disclosure Movement and the People's Love Alliance. I'm here today to get an update from our friend and colleague, Matthew Klee, who's the president and CEO of ZPE, which is the Zero Point Energy open source project. I will let Matthew tell you all about it in detail, and I invite you also to share this video with others that you think will be interested, because I think this is some fascinating stuff that Matthew and his colleagues are doing, and they deserve a lot of support. So thanks for spreading the word. Hi, Matthew. How are you doing?
Hi, things have been happening very quickly, and I'm very excited of all the things that have happened since our last interview. I thank you for that. Thank you for this opportunity to have a follow-up. It feels like last year we were kind of pushing the ball up the hill, trying to get the organization structured and to spread the word on what we're doing. And it seems like we're kind of at the top of the hill and the ball's starting to roll over and things are happening very quickly. And we view that as being an indication that we're getting support and we're doing the right stuff. And so I wanted to give you enough details to bring your viewers up to date on all of that. So thank you for the opportunity.
Well, thank you for doing what you're doing. People may recall that previously we had featured Matthew on this program to introduce the ZPE project. And since then, many of you in the community have responded. So thank you for offering your different talents and skills to the project. So it's nice to hear, Matthew, that this is just rolling along now and uh, gaining the momentum that it needs. And that's why I'm encouraging members of the community to keep pitching in. This is all about us, crowdsourcing zero point energy. What could be more exciting than that? Well, I could think of a few things like full disclosure on contact on Earth with ET presences, but short of that, this is exciting stuff. So yeah, I want to give the floor here to Matthew to tell us all the various things that are going on. I do understand that you have a C corp now, a legal entity to work through. Can
Sure.
you tell us something about that?
Yeah, well, that's part of it. I'm going to start first by just reminding people what our mission statement is, in case it's been a while or this is the first time you've heard about us. So our official title is the ZPE for Zero Point Energy Project Group. The ZPE Project Group exists to serve humanity, our children and our children's children, altruistically through the research, development, and dissemination of verified zero-point energy device designs, open source to the world. So I'm going to parse that just a little bit. We're an all-volunteer organization. Their zero-point energy is related to the quantum field, quantum vacuum. It's been over 100 years wherein many people have been successful at getting electrical energy that we can use from the quantum vacuum. And unfortunately, not a lot of that technology or none of it has made it to a commercial market or in a way that we, the people, can use it. And there are many reasons for that, and you can read about them elsewhere. But it's a moment in time where we feel we can and we should and we are able to investigate these. So primarily, we're going to do the research on the various ways and techniques that have been used in the past, build them ourselves, test them, vet them, go through a whole scientific process to make sure that they work. And we have a whole list of criteria for what would be a working and effective ZPE device. So take a very rigorous approach to testing these things. And if we get one that works, we're going to describe it in appropriate manner so that anyone could reproduce it. And we won't publish it unless we've been able to reproduce it and it's done the job according to our requirements. So it's a scientific and educational organization that is here to try to help to get these technologies available for the masses, for the world. And there's a whole vision that one can imagine where one basically, once you have the device, you have an infinite source of energy on which to do what we do, because our lives are tied to power, and power is primarily in the source of electricity. So you mentioned the 501c3. So
Right.
it takes money. We tried to do this all volunteered from our own pockets, and we realized that it takes money to build and test and communicate. And in order to do that, we need more than our discretionary funds from our current 70 members. Membership is free, but we have a few of us who have been working on things. We've been self-funding. That can only take us so far. So when money is involved, we want to make sure that the organization is structured appropriately to handle the money that people would donate with an expectation. So we formed a C Corp and applied for 501c3 nonprofit status with the IRS, expecting that it would take the average 6 months. And as I said before, things have been going quicker than we expected, and we got approved in 1 month. So we are now an official 501c3. We
Great.
can therefore confidently accept donations, and those who help us through those donations can feel confident that their donations will be tax deductible. And in addition to that structure, we've structuring the organization with C Corps need executive directors and board members and that kind of stuff. So we have that structure, which then provides oversight of what we're doing and decisions being made on where the money is being spent and how we're going to spend it. And we'll talk a little bit of where the money goes or would go. But it should give those people who are interested in donating a little more confidence in we are a legitimate organization with oversight, so that the money that goes, that you donate, goes to projects. We are all volunteers. We have no paid employees. So unlike many nonprofits with overhead, our overhead is basically things to do with getting the job done and not going to individuals.
I see. That is a very important thing, and I'm glad that you laid it out there that this is a safe place and a real serious effort at acquiring the resources so that people have the confidence that their donations of what contributions are going to the right places and doing the right thing. So, thank you for offering that. I understand that you have technology acquisitions that are coming to the fore. Can you talk a little bit about those?
Yeah, that's one of the main drivers is our administrative overhead is a lot smaller than technology acquisitions potentially. So I wanted to talk about the technology acquisition piece of it, because that was the thing that pushed us the most strongly to become a legitimate 501c3. I told you that things are happening quickly. Well, only in the last several months, we've been working with people who are holders of technology. They come in many forms. One might be someone who has a device which they got some success with before and then turned off, or it got taken or something like that. But they have had some success. We'll call these domain experts. They have knowledge either directly or from working with people who have had devices that supposedly worked. So these people, when we talk about technology acquisition, one part of it can be hiring a domain expert to work with us. Many of these people have their own jobs and responsibilities, and they don't necessarily have the time or inclination, or there were other reasons why they stopped doing it. And now we have to motivate them a little bit more than words. So money is involved. So we would have a contract for them as consultants. A second case is people who have had success at getting patents on their technology and have had devices that work, but then that didn't go anywhere because they couldn't get investors or there were other issues with that. But they have put money in, and again, in order for them, we're going to open source the content, the information. So if they're going to transfer the technology to us, we need to do it in a way that we can then provide it with no limitations. So that means we may have to pay them to get the assignment for the patent, which means then we can just give the technology away once it's vetted, if we can get it to work in that. And then the last one is a combination of the consultant with the technology. Many times patents or published information is partial. It's not enough to complete the job. So you do need someone who has the extra sauce, the secret sauce that goes along with the technology. So a lot of times that requires a combination of consulting, and the cost of that can be hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, can't do that out of our individual pockets. And is it justified, perhaps, is a question that we get. Yeah, I think so. If these things, we have a very rigorous vetting process. So if someone comes to us with a technology, we may have reviewed 20, 30 different technologies, and these 3 to experienced individuals on our teams, we judge to have a high potential. Then based on that, we pursue contracts, we pursue very rigorous requirements for these in order for the payment to be released in stages based on milestones. And all of that stuff is done, as I said before, in a very rigorous and controlled manner. There's cost of parts, there's cost of machining, there's cost of tooling. But if we have technologies that are close as we judge it, and we acquire them, we'll get there sooner. We'll get the secret sauce, we'll get maybe we'll get prototypes along with it. We'll get someone helping us who knows stuff. So we might be able to have a device in a year that's been vetted and get the plans out in a year, rather than if we were going to do it homegrown from our own research and try to recreate the secret sauce ourselves by trial and error and with, learning as we go. And that might take 3 years. So a few $100,000 to get to the end in a shorter period of time with ones with higher probability of success. Yes. And so that's what we're going for. And so we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. Then we need a formal business structure and a 501c3. And that's where that came from.
Yes, that totally makes sense. Something piqued my interest as you were talking about the technology. And I know you can't go into great detail, but can you give us an example of 1 or 2 or 3 different types of technologies that you've come across that you can talk about, which might excite our audience here, even though most of us, we're not double E's.
We get easily excited, but then we get easily disappointed too as we look into some of these things, because there are a lot of people who claim to have technologies that work. When we look in detail, they're nice projects and people are having fun doing them. The ones we want to talk about and research are ones that can produce enough power to power a house, not a couple of laptop computers, right? So we're looking for some with very high yield, kilowatts of power out safely. And there are different ways of doing that. And I'll start with a transition one, which is one that's not necessarily electricity based, but it's engine based. So there are transition technologies, and one of them involves using water in an enhanced way as a carrier, we'll call it, or a medium on which to tap the quantum vacuum for energy. And it enhances the combustion of fuels so that you get a much larger, 10 times as much miles per gallon of an engine. And clearly, an engine can run vehicles, but it can also run generators and things. So you could use the engine and the water enhancement, we'll call it, or water as a medium. You can use that technique to use things we have, like cars and fuel-based things, much more efficiently, using less hydrocarbon-based fuels, producing less emissions, and getting the same power out. Taken to an extreme, there are reports and documentation of people like Stan Meyer and Joe in Australia, who claim to have been able to run off 100% water by getting the energy fully out of water in a different way than people normally do. We create hydrogen and burn the hydrogen. We're not talking about that. We're using it as the specific qualities of the proton of the hydrogen atom in a given environment, electrical environment, with different fields that are applied to it while it is nebulized and atomized. And this supposedly allows one to tap a combustible quality of the 0-point energy using water as a medium and use it in a way that is practical and implementable with common engines. So that's one of them. Another one is a solid state device. A solid state device is something with no moving parts, and that might be in the size of a gas generator one would use as a backup for one's home. And it has no wires coming in and power coming out. And you basically use the same type of cable that you would use on a generator and plug it in and use it. So then that would be ideal. It's transportable. It's got nothing. It uses a small battery to get started, but after that, it self-propagates the field. We're really excited about that approach. And then there's a third category that has some moving parts. And so these moving parts create a field which can perturb the quantum vacuum, and we can extract energy out of it that way. So we've got three, and there might be, we evaluate the possibility of 10 or 12 different ways of getting 0-point energy, but these are ones that are this close that we are excited about trying to get funding to be able to get right down to testing. And we have people with that expertise that comes with it. So those are exciting.
And that's important for our viewers out here to know that you're not starting from, if I may use the term, absolute zero here. This is there are baselines. There's already things out there, and like you said, you're this close on some of them, and that's exciting because we all know that sometimes the last mile to something, it is the most exciting, but can sometimes be the most challenging. But it's good to know that you're totally aware of where you are in this process, and you've got specific ideas and technologies that you're pursuing. That makes it very real for me and for many others, that this is just not pie in the sky, but some very practical, nearly working technologies that just need to get that push in the last mile. And to that point, your effort here, speaking of power, is people powered. And I know that you will rely on members and memberships as well as donations to fulfill your mission here. So can you talk a little bit about the help you need, what you're offering from in terms of memberships, et cetera?
Sure. As we said, memberships are free, but there's a vetting process. So we want to make sure people are positively focused on our mission. And we're up to around 70 now, and a lot of those in the last few months have come from our first interview. So we thank you again for that. We're all volunteers. So we have technical people, and those technical people have a background that is necessary for us to do this development, research and development and test and documentation. But as exciting as that is, to us, we're the only organization of this type, I think, that has a consciousness and meditation team as well.
Wow.
So we see the value in the collective consciousness and the power that has on success, and it also makes us feel good. So our team has many different flavors. Our consciousness and meditation team. One is we have weekly different flavors of meetings, all built upon and focused on meditations and exercises that feed our success, toward our success. So law of attraction sort of things, but also awareness, but also contact. So we have some who are we call them frequent flyers, who get downloads. Now, these people are not technical, and most of them are not technical. And they go, I don't know what this means, but here's a picture that I got, or here's some words or something. They are fantastic. They help us support, because a lot of times they get these downloads when the technical team is working on something, and we think that this and this are components of the device, but we have a question about that. And then someone the next day will say, I got this picture, I got a download, I got some words, and that supports what we were doing. We see that as encouragement, and they have no idea what we're talking about in the technical team. They just get a download, and then they give us a download and say, thank you very much. And we let them know, they're an active part of the team, but with their own skills, right? So it's exciting. And then they also try to develop their skills. So we have it's always focused on our mission, but remote viewing, dowsing, different types of visualizations is part of that team, right? So we like it, and we think it's necessary, and it's a differentiator from other ones. We also have an organization that has to be run, and so we have a need and have people who do administrative stuff. So people that lead meetings, people that are scribes that take notes and make sure that the files are put in places that are retrievable and searchable by our members who missed the meeting, so they can see the videos and learn and that kind of stuff. So we have administrative sort of tasks. These people that are working in businesses or have worked in businesses, and they have that skill set. We need those types of people. Then there's the stuff that you might not think of, which is, let's say we're getting close. We have a device that's going to work. Well, it can change the world, right? But there is some pain involved with change. So how can we present the information to people in a way that's useful and helpful for them to understand it, but also to provide the context for the change? What's the vision? What are the benefits from the change? So this is a psychology, sociology, humanities sort of thing. We need to have people that are experts in that to help us with the philosophical aspects of the change and how it impacts various communities, how to present it, to write the material, to present the material in whatever format possible. So from that standpoint, that's exciting. We need musicians and poets to say to help us with a vision, right? And then there's I'll call it legal, but it's public policy sort of aspect. So even that side from laws and regulations, there are some places where you can't just put another electrical producing device on your home without going through some regulations, right? Some states, some locales are easier than others, and some are very, very difficult. So we'll need people who are familiar with that and interested and have time to find out for the various areas what those regulations are, how to deal with them, and provide packets and information for people who want to go forward with this. If you're in this community, here's an approach to use. And this is to try to get be helpful as much as possible in that transition. So there are many, the list goes on of the types of people that a real effort that we're trying to do will involve, and they happen at different times. Right now, we're focused on the technology, but as if we get funding and we get this stuff going in the next year, it can quickly move to the publication and the promulgation of the word. So if
Yeah.
you guys are anybody listening has that and you get excited about any of these aspects, please let us know.
Our community in ET Let's Talk and the People's Disclosure Movement has a wide variety of people in it. And what brings us all together is interest in these, and they are cosmic things, because what you're talking about is tapping the energy that runs the universe, basically. It doesn't get more cosmic than that. So I'm hoping that in our community that these varieties of people who've heard you talk about specifically what kind of needs you have in terms of people resources and their skills. I hope people will take that to heart and jump in with what they've got to help you. And I just again want to encourage people in our community to contact Matthew and the project. And even if you think you have something that he hasn't mentioned, bring it up anyway, because this again is crowdsourcing. So it's an arena of ideas. If there's something that Matthew and his associates haven't thought about that you might bring to the table, that's invaluable too. So yeah, everybody jump in. Now I understand you have a website, so people can go, on the net and find information. Can you
Sure,
tell us
thank
a
you.
little bit about that?
Yeah, so part of the change is to try to consolidate and clean up our messaging. So we're going to update the website and we're going to migrate from the website we have been using, which is zpe-device.com. So we acquired some domain names and are going to migrate to our name, which is, and it's a long one, the ZPE Project Group.org. But we're going to make it easy for you because we're going to also redirect from a shorter one, which is ZPEPG.com, which is quicker to type in. And so our current, which by the time many of you view this will be gone, we're going to migrate to the ZPE Project Group.org, and we will redirect from the ZPE Project Group.com, whatever that you type in like that, or if you want to type a shorter one in, ZPEPG for Project Group.com, and you'll get there. On that website will be who we are, what we're about. We'll describe the structure and the various teams. There'll be information about educational information, and it will be updated on a regular basis. So every month or so, go back, we'll have more information. So we're going to try to provide enough to teach about the topic in a credible manner as we are to get devices out. So we're going to talk what is ZPE, general information, like what are ZPE, what are these types of devices we're talking about in general terms. What's a vision for the future, and how can you help and participate, and how to contact us and all that. So ZPEPG.com, and there'll be member applications. Once you're a member, then you'll get a little bit more involved. You'll have access to more information. You'll have access to a little bit more detail, a little bit more in-depth training on the various things. And as I said, one of our key things is to provide for you, the people who have interest, credible information. So we have several people who are going to vet it with our years of experience. And if we put it on, it means it's had many people look it over with various backgrounds and skill sets and judge it to be as factual as we can. And as we learn more, we'll adapt and we'll update it. And the end game is to provide device designs that are credible and in a manner that if we put it out, it means that we've done it more than once. It meets our requirements for, and we'll put on the webpage what those requirements are. And then there is opportunity for money for people who might commercially, you can do it yourself, but not everybody's a hobbyist, you know? So if someone wants to start a mom and pop shop or whatever to help people by making this, they should be able to do that, right? So it will fit in. The message is it will fit into our, capitalistic business sort of paradigm, as well as being available for those who are interested in themselves and in cutting the cord from the current way that things are done. So yeah, we're excited. There are a lot of things happening.
Yeah, that's right. This has the capacity to affect every person on a very individual level, like within their home. And I want to put that idea out there because it's something I talk about in our ET Let's Talk community when I speak of the cosmic civilizations that can bring some of this type of energy to us and how it would benefit our daily lives. And you're talking about the same thing here, but home growing it here, rather than just totally depending on a full open day of contact to be given to us. And what I really love is the fact that you have individuals in a group there who actually are working with the cosmics, the download that you speak of. I mean, that's a perfect marriage of as above and so below. You're getting that help there too, and we're developing it in a very horizontal fashion here on an individual basis to power a home or to grow it even larger. So I really get your vision. It's at the same time very practical and individualistic, as well as having the power to have a collective influence on such a larger level. So thank you for that information. How can people contact you?
So go to the website. On the website, then there have various ways of contacting us there with the emails and application form. If you're so inclined to donate, thank you very much in advance. It's critical for our early success, and we appreciate all the help we can get on those lines. I also want to say we're not going to get the answer from our friends. We have a responsibility as a species. We created whatever mess we create. It's ours to get out of. Now,
Yeah.
we get help,
Yeah.
but we won't get the answer, right? So we view it, and from our consciousness and meditation team, we've been told, you got to man up, so to speak, and woman up, and make good choices. And what some of these choices is to, one, be aware, be informed, right? So that's what part of our mission is. We're trying to help with people being informed. Do what you can, get involved. So even if you're involved in whatever team, or in whatever way, speaking to your friends and family to help raise awareness, raise their vibration, right? Or actively get involved with a group working on these things. It's up to us. The more we do, the more we take action in a positive way, the more encouragement and support we will get.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. So many things are up to us, but we always have help if we ask, but we got to do the heavy lifting. It occurs to me that social media and finding people who are really experts and enthusiastic about getting the word out is something that's really critical at any stage of things getting done. So I know that in our community here, there must be people who are way more expert than either of us uh, in publicizing what you're doing and getting the word out because there's safety in that. And I think you can speak to that.
Yeah, I'm so glad you asked the question. That's one of those other teams that many teams that we have and need more support with, a publicity or communications team. Uh, what's going to be the most effective is when we have a vetted device that we want to publicize. It's going to be best if we can hit as many things as quickly as possible. And that way that prevents it from being suppressed. We need people who know all about that. And those who have followers, the more followers you have on whatever platform that you're using, we would like you to be informed about us, and please offer your platforms or your skills and your avenue of communication to us for when the time is right. So any way that you can participate, even it's just an email that says, I have 10,000 followers on this platform. I'm interested in this stuff. I don't have time to participate, but when you want the word to go out, I can help.
Right.
Even that, or if you want to join, become a member and be part of the publicity team and find these types on your own as part of your research. Each aspect of this has research. Find the best avenues for publishing our stuff. So it's extremely important. It's the next most important thing.
Yeah.
Just beyond getting a vetted device design. So thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.